Welcome to Bible Logos. I'm Robin Carter, your broadcast host. I'm here today to bring you part 2 of the message, Sometimes You Need to Scream and Holler. Please remember to like and share this message on social media with your friends and family. All right, here we go with part 2 of Sometime You Need to Scream and Holler.
Some of you remember the old school church. The women wore hats not to look good or make a fashion statement. Some of them just like to have their head cut. Do I have a witness here? And some of you remember the buildings with no central air conditioning. You had to open up all the windows and the doors to get a breeze for the worship experience. They gave you a fan with Martin Luther King Jr. on the front and the local funeral home on the back. The deacons would call that old hymn, I heard the Lord, he heard my cry, and pitied every groan, and as long as I live, his trouble rise, I'll hasten to his throne. There is a fountain filled with blood, drawn from Emmanuel's veins, and sinners plunge beneath the flood, lose all their guilty stains. Father, I stretch my hand to thee. No other help I know. Or Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was young, but now I'm lost, but now I'm found. And then mother would take off running. Then the mother would start screaming because they came to holler. They came to scream. They didn't sit down. You didn't have to tell them to put your hands together. You didn't have to tell them to give God a hand praise. You didn't have to tell them to stand to their feet and give God a voice of triumph and a shout. Do I have a witness here? Because they came to shout. They came to scream. They came to holler. And let me talk to somebody this morning. When you come to church and recognize that some people come to church with sickness in their bodies, burdens on their heart, problems they can't seem to solve. And the only person they know that can help them, heal them, hold them is the God that sits high and looks low. And sometimes they got to scream to let them know that they're glad to be in the service just one more time. Do I have a witness in this house? Come on. Can I tell you why I'm preaching this morning? It's because I believe at least 20% of you came in here today because you really need God. There's something I got to tell you, because if it worked for Bartimaeus, it could work for you too. Do I have a witness here? It's not this slave religion that some people would claim. It's an act of faith and adoration in the God that can do exceedingly, abundantly above all that we can ever ask or think. And if you could scream at a basketball game, if you could scream at a football game, if you could scream in a movie, if you could scream in a concert, if you could scream at a casino, why can't we come in here and open up a scream in the house of God? How come we can't come in here and say, Lord, I need you like never before. Come on in here. Why can't we do that? It's in the Bible. Have a seat, because I got a couple minutes here. It's the gospel according to St. Mark. If you ever read this gospel, it's a gospel of excitement. In this gospel, which is the primary synoptic, Jesus portrays himself in one way. He's an awesome God. And when you read this particular gospel, he's so awesome that a woman who really needed a specialist discovered that God can really heal you with or without medicine. She's hemorrhaging for 12 long years. She decides she's going to press her way through the crowd to touch the hem of his garment. And to this day, I have no idea how she heard that Jesus was passing through. Perhaps she heard it on the Jerusalem version of Facebook or Twitter or Instagram. I don't know how she knew Jesus was coming, but she pressed her way through. But this one woman says, I gotta get to him. And when she grabs the hem of his garment, healing virtue leaves his body. And Jesus turns and says, who touched me? And the disciples says, Jesus, you kind of tripping right now because it's a bunch of folk touching you. And Jesus says, no, there are a lot of folks around me, but somebody touched me. And what this says to me is just because there's a crowd doesn't mean that everybody's there for the right reason. There are some people here this morning who plan to press their way through the crowd because they got to touch Jesus today or they're going to lose their mind today. Who came to touch Jesus today? Watch the text. Jesus turns around and says, who touched me? And you have this young lady kneeling on the ground. And Jesus says, daughter, your faith has made you whole. It's a gospel of excitement.
Welcome back. If you like what you heard so far, tune in tomorrow for part 3 of the message. Sometimes you need to scream and holler. I'm Robin Carter, and I want you to remember that the sower sows the word, and therefore it is with the same measure you meet that it shall be measured unto you again.